Yes, so I want to speak for a moment briefly about the bill that was to be passed by the Senate in regards to veterans benefits and burn pits. Um, this was another example of the right choosing to use essential things as a sort of bargaining block. See, one thing I keep learning about disaster capitalism is that the right they don't want a society in which where everybody is secure and supported for their needs. They want a society where there's a certain underclass permanently, and that underclass constantly needs to uh, give up rights, give up freedoms, give up certain protections to survive. So the right does. Um, this particular bill, the Senate wasn't going to pass. Republicans want to pass. Was in regards to people who may have been affected by burn pits in Afghanistan and other places, chemicals that we know cause cancer, things of that nature. They didn't want to pass it. Then they said Democrats put something in the bill at the last minute, and that was a lie. I think this is another example of the fact that veterans don't mean anything. I talk often about how, I can care about other issues, even though they're not my issues. I can look at the Hispanics and how they've been treated, and I can understand that, Trump was using them as a certain type of like a fear tactic for white people. They're coming, the rapists are coming, the escalator speech. I get it, even though I don't care about them. They're not something I fight. It's the same thing with this. The Legion and other people coming out talking about how this is messed up. I ain't forgot yet that y'all back Trump. Don't forget that. The Legion, they were directly behind Trump all the way. I don't mean that just in not liking Hillary. They put a lot of money into Trump. So they had a hand in creating the same kind of government that's withholding money from their people. So just because I can acknowledge troops are being mistreated doesn't mean I forget. And that's the problem with the left. People talk about they want us to unite with society, and why the politics becomes so divisive. It's that you have people who are Republicans who get hurt by the Republican Party, but still don't want to acknowledge the fact they've been hurt. They still want to cling on to conservative stuff without acknowledging that the whole thing is rotten. The whole table is rotten. You can't deal reasonably with people who are not operating with an objective eye. They're not operating objectively on the issues. They're operating off of reactionary politics. You wanted Trump. You wanted this type of government. You wanted to cut the pull the drawstrings together. It's what you got. This is another example. Henry Kissinger talked about American soldiers being just dumb animals. And as time goes on, I have to ask, show me the lie. And I say that not to attack our troops. I say that to make the point that this is how they think of us. This is how they think of the people. This is how they think of the military as well. Jon Stewart spoke about how they love the troops, hate the veteran. And that's pretty much it. We are on the precipice of another world war, possibly. Russia, or just the China thing over there in Taiwan. This is another example of if you're serving this military, if you sign up, if you swear your oath to this military, you go over there and get hurt. This is what's waiting for you. Agent Orange, Gulf War syndrome. Now the burn pits. Where does it end? These troops don't matter. Their lives don't matter, and their families don't matter. And this is another example. I'm a cultural guy. I'm always come with the culture. I'm a culture guy, and I'm somewhat of a historian. I look at things the way old man would have looked at 50 years ago, in everything. Just like back then, they put a bunch of people in there, and they come back hurt and tore up and getting cancer and rare blood diseases. Same thing now. Nothing has changed. Don't do it. Don't serve. Don't join this military. Don't fight for imperialism. Don't do it. Your life does not have any value. And the fact the Republicans in the Senate finally were willing to agree to give the bill, to sign the bill, to give the monies, that's indicative of the fact that they recognize they reached too far. See, I think that right now the Republican Party doesn't know what they want to do. This last election, they didn't even have a platform. Platform is whatever Trump wanted. They're at a point now to where they don't know what they want. So they're grasping at abortion. They're grasping at gay marriage. They're grasping at interracial marriage. They don't know what they want. They don't know what they want. And when you're in office and you're not elected off of creating a better society, a more stable society, and a robust sense of the public good, and a willingness to go after issues of public health and public safety, if you're not out here to do that, it's the puppet of corporations. You're just a puppet of what are you doing? You know, you saw the same thing with Madison Cawthorn. I'm not gonna look at this one issue. And Jon Stewart got it. You know, when he talked about how these are you know, basically these people live forever, live 200 years and all that. And he's right. They do. Look at how many of these presidents have lived into their 90s. He's right. These folks live forever. For those soldiers, they got house payments. They got rent, car notes. It's just another example of how, you know, when people complain about government, they should look at the right. It's easy to talk about gas prices and things like that and blame it on Joe Biden. But what about these troops out here that fought and came back injured? To what? Don't join this military. Don't do it. There's nothing in it for you. Your future isn't. It's a certain indoctrination on it too. I get it. People join the service for trades, and people join the service to get out of their predicaments. I get that. I'm not knocking anybody that's come from nothing and dug their way up to something. I'm never going to do that. But the reality of this is clear. That the right, I'm not even sure the right even cares about this anymore. Being seen as like you're doing things that hurt the vets. I'm not sure they even get the significance, because that's not what they were. The right was about, we pay our bills and we're God-fearing people and we trust, we respect the government and we follow laws. That's not what they are now. They're the party of a bunch of bumpkins getting in a U-Haul with riot gear and going to the gay pride rally. You know, they're the party of sending bombs in the mail. They're the party of mass shooters. I'm not sure. I'd leave it at that. I just think that this recent disagreement is indicative of how the right truly views military servicemen and their families, and a certain lack of regard, a certain disregard for their health, for their families, and for their futures. Thanks for listening.